Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Shoofly Update Show, our first episode for the month of August. We've got some cool things coming up this week when it comes to the programming, as well as some hand care information we're going to share, as well as some of the birthdays and new faces at the gym. And so we're going to dive right in with our programming for the week. As you probably noticed already, we've been doing a lot of tempo, segmented, pausing type of barbell movements. All of that just designed to help us get a little bit stronger, dial in our positions a little bit more, and spend a little bit more time under tension without needing to get those weights going too high. So you'll continue to see that theme for this upcoming week as we continue to move that barbell, challenge ourselves with some of those positions, and move a little bit slower than what we might typically see. You'll also notice that the volume on our gymnastics has picked up a little bit. Had a couple different days where we got a chance to test ourselves on the rig, as well as against the wall, whether it's handstand push-ups or hand release push-ups. So you can continue to see and plan for some of those workouts that'll have some of those gymnastic movements in it. And we'll talk a little bit about what we can do about our hands, especially during these summer months when it's so hot and it gets a little bit sweaty, of keeping them healthy. When it comes to Barbell Club, you noticed last week as we got back into it, the theme was hitting doubles at some different percentages. So that volume is starting to go up just a little bit, but we're also challenging ourselves to hit back-to-back lifts, especially when it starts to get a little bit heavier, a little bit challenging. And so you'll continue to see some of those themes this week, as well as making sure we get our squats in as well. And so that Barbell Club on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7:30 p.m. has been a great opportunity for folks to either learn how to move the barbell a little bit more efficiently, or if we already feel pretty confident in it, how do we get some more time moving that barbell, feeling good about weights that maybe are a little bit heavier than what we'd see during our typical class metcons. It's always a great option to check out. And with that being said, we made the reference that so far, last week I should say, we had a variety of gymnastic movements, really hot week, really sweaty. And anytime those combinations come together, hot and sweaty days with a lot of movements, especially if we're hanging from the rig, it can cause for some tears or some blisters in the hands. So we're gonna go over really quickly just some different things that you can do when it comes to hand care, as well as trying to set yourself up for success during the workouts. So like I said, one of the biggest culprits of those dreaded blisters or tears or rips on the hand comes from how sweaty and how wet it feels like our hands get during the workouts. So anytime we get that sweat on the palms and we're jumping up, grabbing onto the rig, what you'll notice is there's just a lot more friction going on there. And if the skin gets a little bit soft from that extra sweat, what you'll notice is it's a lot easier for it to rip or tear. So there are some things that we can do on the front end to try and help and prevent that from happening, as well as some things we can do in between workouts. So on the front end, what can we do? Well, one is anytime we develop those calluses, especially around the knuckles or even like the palms of the hand, that excess skin that builds up there, when that gets wet, it gets really easy to tear. So taking care of those calluses before coming to class or before workouts can be a really good way to try and limit our tears. So what are some different ways we can take care of calluses? There's a variety of tools out there on the market. You'll see some things called pumice stones, which is kind of just like a rock that's got some rough edges to it that we can use to rub our hands and kind of grind it down. We also have folks who will take blades. There are actually blades out there made for hand care where you will take the blade and just gently run it down your calluses, and what you'll notice is it just removes those layers of dead skin along the top. Some people even like to take sandpaper, just typical traditional sandpaper, use that when it's dry to try and break down those calluses. Personally, I've got a little tool that helps to shave down the calluses, usually once or twice a week after getting out of the shower. If the hands are a little softer, it's easier for that skin to come off. So that's one thing we can do to help us prepare for the workouts that are upcoming. Now, once we get to the gym, like I said, when those hands get wet and that makes that skin soft, there's an easier chance for it to tear. So what we can try and do is keep those hands as dry as possible during the workout. So wearing wristbands, grabbing a towel, and making sure we use that to wipe our hands down to try and make them as dry as possible for when we jump up on the rig, and then also using that chalk. Chalking up on the hands, especially when they're dry, is going to be one of your best bets to try and hang on to the rig to put some sets together, but also keep us from tearing or getting some of those rips in the hand. Grips are a great option. If you have grips currently and you have some questions on maybe the most effective way to use them, feel free to reach out to any of the coaches. If you've never tried grips before, it is a tool that can try and cut down on some of that friction between the bar and your hand. Also helps to provide a little bit of a more secure grip on the bar, especially as it gets hot and sweaty outside. So at the gym, trying to keep those hands as dry as possible with towels, and then using chalk can be also a really effective tool to try and cut down on those rips and tears. The other thing we can do during the workout is, since it is a training session, having the mentality that if we start to feel like our hands are getting a little bit worn, dropping down from the rig, rather than trying to hold on for those next extra reps that could cause that tear, better to drop down, go into some smaller, more manageable sets where we're having some less friction on the bar, or potentially just changing the movement. Anyone who's ripped or torn their hands knows it is not a very comfortable sensation. It also takes you out of some of the training for the next couple of days, potentially, because gripping barbells and dumbbells or potentially having to get back up on the rig doesn't feel very good. So it does sometimes limit our ability to train. So dropping down, smaller reps, changing the movement, never a bad idea, rather than getting a bad tear and needing 3-4 days, even a week to get that thing healed up and taken care of. So those are some different tips and strategies you might use during the workout to help you to avoid some of those rips and tears. And then what can we do after the workout? Well, part of that care is once or twice a week, just noticing and taking stock of where your hands are at. Do you feel like you need to shave down some of those calluses or peel back some of that dead skin? There's also some great different options to put on your hands in between workouts that helps provide some of those minerals, nutrients, and all that good stuff to try and keep your skin nice and healthy. We have a couple of those options at the gym. You'll notice it over on our shelf by the t-shirts called Wad Welder. Really effective tool to use in between sessions on those hands, keep them nice and healthy, keep that skin strong so that you can continue training. So those are just some things as coaches we talked about or thought might be helpful to share with everybody, especially after last week. I know some folks' hands got a little bit beat up, especially after Friday's workout. So some things to think about and consider as this upcoming week unfolds. If you have any questions about specific hand care or things you can do, coaches are always happy to chat about it, so reach out. We love helping you out with all of that. So with that being said, we've got a couple other updates to provide for this week. Once again, the Shoofly liftoff is coming up October 16th. We are really, really excited. We're continuing to put plans in place to provide a great athlete experience. We're going to need all the help we can get. So even if you're not competing and you still want to take part in the event, put that date on your calendar, because we'll use all the help we can get when it comes to volunteering for equipment changes and judges and helping athletes know where to go and what to do. All of those good things make the athlete's experience that much better, and it's all because of the volunteers we have. So whether you want to compete or help out, mark October 16th on your calendar, because we will definitely be using all of you. That being said, we also have a new episode of At the Bar coming out tomorrow. The guest for this week was Michael and Kristen Hagg, two members from our own gym. Got a chance to have a lot of fun conversation around their fitness history and journeys. We talked a lot about nutrition, and we really dove into how can families make the best choices when it comes to movement, nutrition, They've got some little ones at home, which always makes it a challenge to get your workouts in for the week or eat food that helps push you towards your goals. So some great insights from both of them on how they find that balance of working out, eating healthy, and also having the time to do it with two little ones at home and another one who ideally will be joining their family pretty soon. So feel free to check out that episode as it comes out tomorrow. Just one birthday this upcoming week, Jeremy Medlin's birthday. So if you get a chance to see Jeremy this week, be sure to wish him a happy birthday. And then just a couple new faces that you'll notice at the gym. First one is Brandon Gramelian. He's been typically coming to those afternoon classes, so you'll see him dropping in at 4:30 or 5:30. So if you see Brandon, be sure to make him feel welcome. And then also Matt and Suzanne. They also finished up foundations, so they've got a nice toolkit under their experience now to help them as they transition now back into regular classes. So you'll see them as well, whether it's in the morning or afternoon. So be sure to make them feel nice and welcome as they jump into our classes. So that's all we've got for this upcoming week at CrossFit Shoofly. The very first week of August. We're on the back half of the year now. It's going to be potentially another warm one at the gym, so be sure that you prepare, get your water ready, get your towels ready. If you've got wristbands or chalk, be sure those are ready too. And we look forward to seeing you at this next week at CrossFit Shoofly.